It might shock you to hear me say that creating content that deeply resonates with your audience and naturally pulls them in to buy has nothing to do with you saying the right words. Energy is felt, words are heard, and people make a buying decision based off of what they feel. Think about the last time that you made a purchase. It wasn't because of what you heard, it was because of what you felt. And what you felt was that you already had an answer or a solution to your problem. So much so that you had to take that next step to complete that feeling to make that purchase. And this is the beauty about content. Our content has the ability to make our audience feel seen, heard, and understood. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 critical elements that are so essential for you to have in every piece of content, whether it's a YouTube video, an Instagram reel, a TikTok video, a blog, or an article. These 4 elements are going to help the energy behind your words come through to your audience. So it feels natural for them to take that next step with you, which is to purchase something from you. One of the things I find so fascinating about the online marketing world is that there are so many people that have the best words, the best copy, the best messaging, but there's something about the energy that just isn't there. And that doesn't lead to sales and buyers. Then there's the other population where they have the energy, but they may not have the best words, the best messaging, or the best copy, and that leads to sales and buyers. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't refine your craft and you shouldn't improve your copy and your messaging. But what I am saying is that the right words still doesn't lead to sales if you don't have the energy to capture the words. And we can often have words that outpace our energy. So we want to get our energy on board with the words that we are saying. And what I love about what I'm going to share with you is that it's going to pull that energy out of you so that your audience feels drawn in to the things you have to say. And they become raving fans. They can't wait to hear what you have to say next. So I want you to think about the word rise, RISE. This is how you're going to remember the 4 elements that I'm going to share with you. Now, the first one is relatable experience. I want you to think about a question, a problem, a situation that's relevant to your audience, or maybe even a belief system that is holding them back. And I want you to infuse that at the top part of your content. This is what most people call the hook. So at the very beginning of you introducing something, you want to make it relevant. That's how you create resonance because your audience can feel, oh, you're speaking to me. This is literally like being in a crowd and calling someone by name. If you're in a crowd and you say, hey, Julie, well, all the Julies are going to turn and look. Or if you say, hey, Siobhan, all the Siobhans are going to turn and look. Although there's probably not that many Siobhans. I don't know that many, at least not spelt the way that my name is spelled. But this is literally calling your audience by name. And so if you are a fitness coach, for example, let's say you work with people who just can't seem to lose that last 10 to 15 pounds, then that might be how you introduce a piece of content. Does it seem like you can't lose that last 10 to 15 pounds? Now, a person who has 50 plus pounds to lose isn't going to be drawn in because you're only speaking directly to people looking to lose the last 10 to 15. Let's say you're a pelvic floor specialist and you help people stop peeing their pants. You help women stop peeing their pants. Men too. And you might say, are you tired of leaking? Are you tired of wetting your pants? Are you tired of always running to the bathroom? Are you tired of not being able to play with your kids because you keep leaking every time you jump up and down with them? Now you're calling your audience by name and they're going to pay attention. So when you have a relatable experience, that is using your audience's name. Now they're going to feel that you are really speaking to them. It's specific, not general. And when you have specificity and you're speaking directly to them, the energy starts to come out because what they're feeling is the feeling that they have in that situation. And this is so important because I see a lot of people downloading the best viral hooks and they're using other people's words. Now, when you use other people's words, but you yourself don't have the understanding why you're saying those words, the energy isn't going to come through. So if you're copying and pasting other people's viral hooks, but you don't have a compelling situation that's relevant to your audience, that's where the words are going to fall flat. Even if you have a story about you, you're going to share that story in a way that's still relevant. Whenever I talk about me having a stutter growing up so bad that I couldn't even say my own name, I don't just say I had a stutter, but I also talk about how it affected my confidence on camera. And I have a video about that. I will post it down in the description. But people who might be dealing with some kind of a challenge, maybe they don't like their voice, maybe they also have a stutter, maybe there's something going on with them personally that they don't feel confident showing up. Well, when I start adding in that I didn't feel confident on camera because I had a stutter, the not feeling confident on camera now creates a specific resonance with my audience. But I'm also being vulnerable by sharing I had a stutter growing up. So once you are telling your own story, but you're still making it relatable, because if you're sharing your story, it's really easy for your audience to say, good for you. I'm glad that you overcame that. But it doesn't mean that they themselves can feel like they have the power to now overcome their own situation. So if you're sharing your story to inspire or impart belief, you want to make sure that you're still making it relevant to them and not just about you and assuming that they're making that connection. Really, really important. So the next thing, and the I in rise that I'm going to share, this is what I see people missing the most. This is where I see people going into teacher mode and professor mode with their content. Your audience does not want to be an expert in your craft. They want the solution that you provide. And many times people believe that they're solving the problem by educating. We can educate, but they don't want to be an expert in the craft. We have to educate on what I'm going to share with you, which is the identity shift. What we want to educate them on is a new way, a new perspective for them to see their problem. So, whatever problem you help your audience to solve, when you create an identity shift, you're helping them see a new aspect of their problem. So, let's say it's your hand. Let's say they're looking at their problem palm facing. Now you want them to look at their problem back facing. Let's say they're only looking at the heads side of a coin. You want to show them the tails side of the coin. This is what we call identity shift. You want to shift the way that they see their problem. It's almost like you take their head and you just turn it a couple of degrees so much that they can just see a slightly different angle, a slightly different perspective. And this gets them to start believing and seeing something differently. You want to position this as the old and the new. One of my favorites that my mentor always talks about is a poor person mindset and a wealthy person mindset. He says a poor person mindset is somebody who believes time is money. But a wealthy person mindset is somebody who knows that time is more infinitely valuable than money. A poor person mindset is somebody who sees investing in themselves as losing the money. Whereas a wealthy person mindset, they see investing in themselves as something to gain. And they are also looking at not figuring it out all by themselves because they realize that time is more infinitely valuable than money. So this is how you can give your audience an identity shift. Do you identify with a poor person mindset or a wealthy person mindset? So you can do that for your own industry. One of my favorite ways to do this isn't just by positioning an old and a new, but also using my other acronym, which is called FAMS, F-A-M-S. You want to use a framework, an analogy, a metaphor, or a story to help paint the picture for your audience to see a different vantage point. And you guys can see if you're watching my videos, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. But I teach in these frameworks for a reason because it's easy for people to follow. It's easy for people to see, okay, do I have this step? Do I have this step? Do I have this? And that allows them to take action. When I share an analogy, people can see that. And when they can see that, they can believe it. Same thing with a metaphor, same thing with a part of my story. Just like when I just shared with you just now, if you were in a crowd and you said, hey, Julie, and everyone looked, it's calling your audience by name. That is me using something that is relevant, that's easy to understand, to paint a picture to create believability. So we can start creating these identity shifts by using something that's so common that everybody knows. And that is what's going to make people feel like you really get them because you're helping them to see it. You're helping them to really understand it. So identity shift is really, really essential. This is not about educating your audience on what you do. It's about educating your audience on how they now need to look at the problem that they have so that they can build the belief that it's possible for them. And when you're the person that can build the belief in them, a belief that's already inside of them, you're just helping to activate that. When you're the person that can help someone do that, now they're locked in. They're paying attention to everything you have. They're buying everything you have, and they're wondering, well, what is the next thing? Because they want to gain access to you. They want to gain proximity. They have to buy because you've already made them feel something, and they've got to complete that loop. So this is so, so essential. The S in RISE is a simplified solution. Don't just educate your audience and think that's the solution. That's not a solution. You want to position a tangible solution that your audience can now take action on. You can do this in the form of a framework. You can do this in the form of an action step, but you want them to be able to take what they just got from you and now go implement that. They can take what they learned and they can implement that to now get a result. Because even if you are shifting a belief, with that new belief, they can go do something with it. So it's essential for you to tie back what that belief is attached to in an action that they now need to take. So let's say I go back to that example I just gave you, a poor person mindset versus a wealthy person mindset. A simple solution that I might provide is, where is there an area in your life that you've been holding back on investing? Where is there an area of your life that you've been seeing it as a loss instead of a gain? Now that person is going to scan in their life, I passed up on taking this offer. I passed off on making this investment because I was seeing it as a loss. They get to decide if they're going to make that decision or not for themselves. They get to go take the action. But you are at least the person in your content that has activated that for them. So you want to help your person have a win. And sometimes that win is just a feeling, but that feeling is going to empower them to now go take an action. And now they're going to link it back to you and your ability to consistently service them in that way. So don't over-educate in terms of teaching your audience what it is you want them to know or teaching them your craft. You want to teach them the angles that they can now see their problem from. That's a new belief, a new angle. So how much is too much to give away? That's a really good question that a lot of people tend to ask when it comes to sharing your simplified solution. And what I always say is give away everything. Give away everything. Now, there's a caveat to that. The thing that you are giving away is the what. You want to give away all of the what's in your content, the what to do. But what people are paying for is the how to do it. In this video, for example, I'm telling you what to do. These are the 4 parts that you want to have. You want to have a relatable experience. You want to give them an identity shift. You want to have a simplified solution. And I'm going to share with you the E here in a second. But I'm telling you what. Now, can you go and take this and do something with it? Absolutely. So you want to make sure that what you're sharing, your audience can take something and do it. They can take an action. And so now you get to go and look at your content. Do I have a relatable experience? Did I shift their identity? Did I offer them a simplified solution? But what people will pay for is the how. Maybe you're having trouble coming up with relatable experiences. Maybe you're having trouble with identity shifting, how to really position the analogies, the frameworks, how to even come up with the frameworks. Maybe you're unsure how to really position and tell your story. Maybe you're unsure of your simplified solution. So I've given you the what's, but people pay for the how. Same thing with your content. People are going to listen to the what to do. It's going to validate them. It's going to help them feel seen, heard, and understood. It's going to give them an action step. They're going to be able to take it and go off and do whatever they need. But when they get stuck, they're going to have to come back to you. And this is where they start to say, man, this person's giving me a lot of things, but I'm still struggling with this area or that area. I'm still having trouble with this or that. Something still isn't clear. So if something still isn't clear, now they have to come back for more. And this is where you charge them for the how to do it. Because you can tell someone how to build a house. You can tell someone how to change their car battery. You can tell someone how to do anything. But to walk someone through something step by step by step and hold their hand and walk them through that process, that's what they have to pay for, because they're paying now for the insight. They're paying for your brain and their brain to now be connected. Your brain and my brain are now connected because you're watching this video. But if you want our brains to be more deeply connected, for my brain to be more intimate with you and your business, now we're paying for the how. We're paying for, well, how do we implement this? How do we take a look at my specific audience? This is what I help my clients do. But I'm giving you everything. I'm literally giving you everything inside of these videos that I possibly can so that you go and take an action from. I don't gatekeep, but there are so many nuances that need to be shared. And if you listen to my videos, there are many nuances in there, but it's going to be really difficult sometimes for people to apply all of the subtle nuances. This is why I say, don't hold back in your content. Give. And the reason why you keep giving is because it's still going to be difficult for people to implement certain things because they might need a accountability. They might need certain levels of insight that are so applicable to their specific situation. So don't hold back, because if you're holding back, your audience can feel the energy of you holding back. I'm not holding back in this video or any of my videos. I try to add as much detail, not make the video too long, not go off on too much of a tangent like I am right now, but I really look to service all of you because I remember what it was like when I didn't have these answers, when I didn't have this step-by-step process, and breaking it down in a really easy way, in a systematic way for me to now take action. So that is why I do what I do here on this channel. It's fun for me, and I really enjoy servicing all of you to really start making money with your story, with your coaching offers, with your expertise. So, whoo, that was a tangent. Are y'all still here? Drop in the comments. What's been your takeaway so far? All right, so that was the simplified solution. Give away everything. Give away the farm, okay? Now, the E is the emotional pull. This is like the cherry on top. This is the emotional pull. Relating everything you shared back to why it matters to them. Back to why it matters to them. Not just why it matters, but why it matters to them. As coaches, consultants, experts, and thought leaders, it is not about why you want it to be important to them. It's not about what you know. It's about why it's already important for them to solve. Because if it's not already important for them to solve, you telling them why it's important for them to solve that's irrelevant to what's actually going on in their life, then they're not going to want to solve it. So it's got to be something that's relevant to them. Why does it matter for them? So I'm telling you this video, these 4 elements, why is this important for you? It's important for you because you are pouring your heart out into creating content, but it's not bringing you any sales. So when you apply the RISE elements, the RISE framework, this is going to help you connect with your audience energetically, not just the words. Because when you go through this, you're going to be feeling the experience that you're going to be creating. And when you're feeling the experience that you're going to be creating, that's the energy that comes through. And this is what's going to lead to more sales, more buyers, and people being so attracted to you and your content, feeling like they can't get enough. So I'm telling you why it matters, because you want more sales. You're pouring your heart out into the content. You want more sales. You want more buyers. You're already doing the thing. So what is it? This is solving a problem. So I'm telling you why it matters. I'm not saying my opinion of why it matters that I want you to get. I already know that you're pouring your heart out. So that's what we have to really understand. So what are the emotions that your audience is already feeling? I know for me, you might be feeling frustrated. You're like, I'm doing this and I'm not getting anywhere. You might feel overwhelmed. You might feel anxious. You might be comparing yourself. I know all of that because that's something I've been through. And so I'm going to talk about those emotions throughout my videos because it's going to help you know that I see you. And so in your videos, in your pieces of content that you're putting out there, what is your audience feeling? What is your audience experiencing? And speaking to that and letting them know that when they take this action, they're going to move through their overwhelm. They're going to move through their anxiety. Maybe you understand that your audience thinks a certain way. And it might take you a couple pieces of content to tackle their overwhelm, to tackle their anxiety. I have some other videos on this channel that are all about rewiring your brain and breaking free. Because as much as all this tactical stuff is good, I already know that if you don't have the belief system, it's going to be really difficult for you to follow through. So I've got videos where I'm tackling the belief system and helping you do that. So what is it that your audience wants to move away from pain-wise, and what are they looking to move toward pleasure-wise? And bringing that into your content. Now, when you add these four elements, you are going to notice a shift in your content. Your content won't be the same because you creating it aren't feeling the same, which means the energy in which your audience is going to be picking up on is the one that you are here to genuinely service them and care for them. And that's the audience, or that's the energy that attracts buyers. That's the energy that attracts raving fans. It's because they can feel the deep care, the deep service, the deep resonance. They can feel that there has been thought put in to your content, not just that you are trying to find the right words. They can feel that there is energy behind it of, hey, this person can really help me. They're not just trying to say the things to get my money. They can genuinely service me. And when you do this and you implement these four elements, people will easily and naturally pay you. Like easily pay you. So if right now you're feeling like people aren't paying you or they're paying you, but it feels like you're trying to grab at their money, it's because you're trying to find the right words. But when you connect these four elements with your content and your heart of service, the money naturally flows. If there are other content mistakes that you might be making, I've got an entire masterclass in the comment section. It is the 7 content traps to make sure that you are not falling into those traps. I not only give you the traps, but I give you how you can actually move away from those traps. I trust this video blesses you and serves you. I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.